Of cold calls. Thousands of cold calls produced 16 sales, and 84 of the 100 came from referrals. Now, I'm a bit slow, as many of you may be aware, but I understood the message that this was giving me. Get good at asking for referrals. Firstly, they are free. We don't have to pay for a referral. Secondly, and this is the biggest factor about referrals, anybody here ever had a prospect who said, I want to think about it? Okay, when you went back the following week, did they say to you, oh, I haven't had time to think about it yet? Of course, they don't want to think about it. The hardest decision a person ever makes is the decision to trust a stranger. Girls, didn't your fathers say, don't talk to strange men? Guys, didn't your mothers say, don't talk to strange women? I'm nearly 80 years of age. I've lived in hope a strange woman will want to come and talk to me. We're told not to trust. Read it before you sign it. Seek advice. Don't rush into it. We're almost trained not to trust. And so when we as advisors meet the prospects and say this is the right thing for you to do, they can't make this difficult decision, so they push us away. They don't really want to think it over or talk to their brother-in-law or whatever other silly objection they give us. What they're really saying is, I can't make the decision as to whether or not you are trustworthy. It is such a tough decision, we would sooner not face it. But when we are referred, our prospect assumes that the question was answered by the person who gave our name as the referral. They've dealt with the trust question, now there is no trust barrier. Okay, so the closing average becomes massively higher. Okay, so how do we do this? Okay, first I want to just explain something to you. Now, most of us were trained by insurance companies. Now, insurance companies usually fill their training departments with people like you and I who fail in the business. So they're not really the right people to actually be able to tell us what we need to know. And most of you will have been told that's the sales process. It starts here, maybe you get a name, you get the name, you make a call, you get the appointment, you go to the meeting, maybe a second meeting. With a bit of luck, you might get the sale. Phew, that's the end of the sales process. This, folks, is rubbish. The sales process is like this. It is a never-ending cycle. It has no beginning and it has no end. So if you get a name, you make the appointment, you make the presentation, maybe a second appointment, you get the sale, you ask for a name, and onwards. It is a never-ending cycle. Now, does anybody here drive a car? Yeah. Or ride a bike? Okay, well, leave out one piece of the cycle and imagine that's the wheel of your bicycle, the wheel of your car. You won't have much of a journey, will you, if we don't have everything moving evenly. So, if you were one of the agents in my office when I had my agency, you could have walked into me and said, Tony, I have just made the biggest sale of my life. And I would slap you on the back and we would cheer, and I would say, and how many referrals did you get? Because only when we ask for referrals are we completing that cycle. Okay, so that's my first point. So, there's no trust barrier, so how do we ask? Well, it's really very simple. What's your name? Okay, wait a minute. Do you speak English? Oh, okay, good. Let's have it. Okay, you'll do. Juan. Is that how I pronounce it? Okay, Juan, you have just become my client. We've done all the paperwork and you are my client. And I am going to say to you, And by the way, this is being recorded, so if I go too quickly, you'll be able to get the recording and then slowly study it at home. Juan, I want to tell you that there is a difference between my company and other people in the financial services business. I do not say competitors. We never acknowledge we have competitors. Juan, there is a difference between my company and others in the financial services world. Most people who do my job spend most of their time looking for new people, for new clients. Leaves very little time, Juan, for us to look after the clients, for them to look after the clients they have. Juan, we are the opposite. We spend most of our time looking after our clients. And Juan, you may wonder how we're able to do this. It's very simple. We only take on as clients people to whom we are personally introduced, to whom we're personally referred. And Juan, listen to the words. And Juan, I'm really only interested in meeting people that I can get on well with, in the same way that you and I are getting on so well together. And Juan, I'm particularly interested in meeting people who, and this is the point where I have to tell my new client the sort of people I want to be referred to. Not, who do you know who might be interested? Juan, I'm particularly interested in meeting people who are self-employed or who run their own small business, or who complain most about paying tax, or if you're in the protection business, the protection market, who are married with young children. I'm telling Juan the kind of people I want to be referred to. So Juan, who do you know who runs his own small business?
Sandro.
Sandro. Yeah. What does Sandro do, Juan? And he'll explain to me. Juan, he sounds like the sort of person I'd like to meet. Juan, how do I contact Sandro? Now, one might at this point say, if you ever get this said to you, well, I'll tell you how to contact Sandro, but don't mention my name. Does this ever happen to you? Juan, I've been in this business a long time. I would not contact somebody unless I can use your name as the referrer. But in all my years in this business, Juan, I have never had a single client ever embarrassed. And I promise you will not be the first. How do I contact him? And he'll give me the number. So now I'm going to phone Sandro. Okay, you got the mic? Okay, I'm going to call Sandro. Listen to the words. Sandro, it's Tony Gordon here. Does my name ring a bell?
No, it doesn't.
No, he says. Oh dear, I am embarrassed. You know Juan, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Well, Juan has been a client of mine for some time, Sandro, and when I was chatting with him the other day, he mentioned your name to me. In fact, Sandro, he spoke very highly of you. Sandro, one seems to think that one or two of the things we do might be of value to you. Now, I don't know, Sandro, if there's anything we do that'll be of any value, but next time I am in your neighborhood, I would like to call in, spend 15 minutes with you. I'll introduce myself, tell you about the things we do, and you can tell me if there's anything there of interest. Now, I'll be in your neighborhood, Sandro, on Monday morning at 10, or would you prefer Wednesday afternoon at 2?
Okay, what's it about?
Oh, I'm sorry, one hasn't had the opportunity to tell you. We're in the financial business, Sandro. We advise our clients on ideas for putting money to work. Many of them are very tax efficient. Sandro, I'm sure, like all of my other clients, you would agree that tax is something best not talked about over the telephone. Would Monday morning at 10 be convenient, or would you prefer Wednesday afternoon at 2?
I have an accountant who deals with my tax.
I gave him these lines, by the way, folks. Okay, he has an accountant. Of course you do, Sandro. I would not want to meet with you unless I was sure that all of your accounts, all of your tax affairs were properly dealt with. Is Monday morning convenient, or would you prefer Wednesday afternoon?
So is it life insurance?
We offer life insurance, but I haven't got that in mind. The purpose of meeting you is to discuss what we do, run through all of the things we do. You can tell me if life insurance is what you want. Would you prefer Monday or Wednesday?
It's only because I've got a life insurance agent.
Sandro, I thought you would have. The work we do sits above the work done by the average life insurance agent. Would Monday morning be convenient, or would you prefer Wednesday afternoon?
I honestly think you'd be wasting your time.
That's very likely, Sandro. That's why I'm only setting aside 15 minutes for the first meeting. Would Monday be convenient, or would you rather Wednesday?
Monday's fine.
Now, just think about those words. Okay, it's Tony Gordon here. Does my name ring a bell? He said, no. Oh dear, I'm embarrassed. Am I embarrassed? I do this for a living. Okay, but did it get a little bit of sympathy that would allow me to continue? Right, one has been a client of mine for some time. When I was chatting with him the other day, he mentioned your name. He spoke very highly of you. Okay, he's not going to argue. He wants to see if there are any more compliments coming. Okay, now, how many times did I mention the name of the referrer? How many times did I mention Juan's name? 4 or 5 times. How many times did I mention Sandro's name? 5 or 6 times. The sweetest sound a person ever hears is the sound of their own name. Mention his name. And how many times did I close? Was anybody counting? 6 times. You close once and you might get 1 appointment out of 10 calls. You close twice, you get 3 or 4 appointments out of 10 calls using these words. You close 3 times, you'll get 4, 5, possibly 6 appointments. You close 4 times and you'll be at 8 or 9 appointments out of 10. You won't need the 5th or the 6th close. Okay, now I have to tell you, there is only ever in my whole career one prospect who, when I arrived at his office, actually said, you've got 15 minutes, that's what you asked for. The only person who ever remembered that, and I have to say with some pride, okay, I was there for 2.5 hours and I walked out with the check. Okay, so don't worry about that. Now, if we're going to ask for referrals, we have to be referable. If you have clients who are in business, what I would be doing for a client in business, I'd be looking at the file and I'd be asking myself, and I'd ask my assistant, who do we know that we could refer to this client? Which of our other clients could we refer? Because if we give a referral, what? Do I sound like I need? It's water. I thought it was something stronger. Thank you. What was I saying? Oh yeah. If we give a referral, they are honor bound to give referrals back. So, law of reciprocity. Think about who you can give. Now, as a referral to your business clients. Now, let me give you a few other interesting ways of getting referrals. Tell your clients, please don't keep me a secret. Half of the financial advisors in the UK have picked on this. At the bottom of their emails, above all that, that great big paragraph that says, the company takes no liability for anything this advisor says to you. Right, just below the name, you can put words that say something like, please don't keep us a secret. Our business depends and grows from the referrals given by our clients. If a friend, relative, or business colleague of yours might benefit from our advice, please don't hesitate in contacting us. Tell your client, please don't keep me a secret. Now, who has a client who has never given you a referral? Try this. Go to see the client and say, I have a question for you. Why have you kept me a secret? What do you mean, they'll say? Well, I only take on as clients people to whom I'm personally introduced, to whom I'm personally referred, and you're the only client I have who's never referred me to anybody. And I wondered, why have you kept me a secret? And they'll say, well, I didn't know because probably we never asked them in the first place. Okay, and then you can explain and go into your referral presentation. Now, just in case anybody thinks I am so old I do not understand anything about technology, you are nearly right. But I do understand this. Who here is on LinkedIn? Okay, this is how you get referrals without even having to ask. Ask your clients, your business clients, if they're on LinkedIn. Can you link to them? And then, of course, they'll say yes. Right, and next time, once you're linked to your client, you can see everybody that they are connected to. So you look at the people they're connected to and you pick out 2 or 3 or 4 people you think you'd like to have as a prospect. And next time you go to see the client, you just say to the client, I was looking through the people you're connected to on LinkedIn, and by coincidence, 3 of them are on the list of people that I have to contact. What can you tell me about these 3? And the client will tell you about them. And then you say, is it working? Behind you,
Yeah, I'll sort it.
round the back.
Yeah.
At my age, I can't remember what I was talking about.
LinkedIn.
This is how I make sure somebody, at least in the audience, is listening to me.
LinkedIn. 3 clients.
Oh, LinkedIn, thank you, LinkedIn. Right. You go to your client and you say, by coincidence, 3 of the people you're connected to on LinkedIn are people that I have been asked to contact. What can you tell me about these 3? And then you use these magic words. Anything that you and I have ever discussed will always be in absolute confidence. Very important. But when I contact them, you don't mind if I mention the fact that you and I have done some business together, do you? And you've just created 3 referrals without ever having to ask for them. Is that a good idea? Yeah, you bet it's a good idea. I actually shared that idea with somebody that I mentor, and I saw him again a few months later, and I said, how are you getting on with your LinkedIn? And he said, well, it worked fine, but I stopped doing it. I said, why? He said, well, I tried an experiment. I just printed out all of the people connected to my client. I took the list to the client, I put the list in front of them, I put a highlighter on top, and I said, those are all the people you're connected to on LinkedIn. Please highlight the ones you think I should speak to. I said, what happens? He said he did. Okay, right, let me give you another idea. Tell your clients, I'd like to meet your mum. I'd like to meet your mother, I'd like to meet your parents. Why, they'll say. We find we can invariably get a better rate of return for older clients. If we can get a better rate of return for an older client, for your mum, then she'll have a better standard of living, be less likely to need your help in the future. And when her time is up, there'll be more for you and your family to inherit. Will you introduce me to your mum? I was asked by somebody a few years ago who said to me, I haven't done a lump sum, a single premium, an investment case in years. All of my clients are aged 45 to 55. They're all professionals. How can I get into an investment market? I said, tell them you'd like to speak to their mums. Why? I told him what I've just told you. Within 30 days, he earned over $100,000 US in commission selling to the mothers of his clients. Now it works just as well if I want to speak to their children. You can go upwards or downwards from there. Okay, last idea on referrals. This is an idea that can, what? Okay. Okay.
Time na.
We're going too fast. Okay, I want to change tack. Okay, the time is disappearing on us. I'm going to show you how to deal with retirement. Okay, because I believe that what somebody wants, many of you have heard me say this before.